About 4 years back, I set out to design and develop a true acoustic electric guitar, inspired by basically some of the failures of some of the big companies' products that I've seen in the past. I wanted to do something that made more sense to me and also fit my eco-conscious mission and all that stuff. So I set out to make this, this is one of the early ones. This is the Z. And so the idea being it's not an acoustic guitar with a bunch of electronics shoved into it like most acoustic guitars are, and it's not an electric guitar that was sort of scooped out to be like an acoustic guitar and not really work like an acoustic guitar. This one leans more towards acoustic because I felt like that was the missing ingredient of sort of the brand name product that they put out a few years back around the time I started doing this. But that's the past now. I recently put a video out where I sold off sort of all my prototypes of these because I wanted to fund and finance the next round of prototyping, and I have started that, and this is the very first prototype of the redesign of the acoustic electric guitar. And, well, why don't we just watch? I'll show you how I built it. Then we'll play it and listen to it at the end and see what's going to change on it. Because this is a prototype. Things are going to change, but I'm pretty happy so far. With what I've learned and liked and disliked from the past 20 or so acoustics I made, this design required me to go back to the very beginning, scrapping almost everything I had been working on and starting from scratch. After a lot of hours of designing in my Vectric software, I started to build the first one, which begins with making molds. So I might make some more traditional molds in the future once I'm completely sold on the final design and dimensions and stuff. But for now, I'm making this just quick laser cut files from thin plywood and gluing some of these together to make these parts a little bit more versatile and editable. I use some of the waste from my mold to make side measurements, as this is one of the biggest and newest ideas I had to improve the construction and durability. So I do this like laser kerf thing, which you can see happening here, to bend this plywood, because you can't soak it. It's plywood, it'll come apart. And I don't want to give up on this whole reclaimed closet door skin thing, but there's some cons to using it because it is plywood, like those, and the edges get flaky and ugly and stuff. And so I've gotten pretty good with this laser kerf system for bending the sides, but where they go into the block or against the block is always a problem. So I thought I could make them go inside the solid wood neck and tail blocks instead of on my top. Design-wise, I'd accentuate this as a feature, not a bug, and I think this would give me a little more of the stability I seek, plus give me material to anchor my magnetic pickup and play with the look and make it sort of unique, stronger corners, etc. So once I had these crucial parts cut and tested to fit in the mold, I felt confident enough with the concept to proceed. Although I do need to create a jig or some better system for cutting the slots in the neck and tail blocks for the side to slide in. The bandsaw was a little bit sloppy. But so then I went and I cut my tops and parts on my laser, and I dug up a piece of mahogany reclaimed from an old cabinet for the neck, plus some local maple for a fingerboard. These parts didn't change much. Like the original design, this one still features a bolt-on neck with some minor changes to the way this is set up. So I'm using a slightly smaller recessed bolt. Here you can see I'm putting the threaded inserts in. And then I also have an angle adjustment, which I sort of changed and beefed up the system there, but now they all use the same Allen key instead of needing two Allen keys with the guitar. I could probably rig something up to actually store these Allen keys in the guitar too. And then I decided to glue the neck on before putting frets in instead of after. Most luthiers do it this way, and I always put the frets in first, and I think there's maybe I wanted to try it this way and see if I can get some better results. Make it easier for me doing the fretting, because the reason I do it the other way is I felt like it was easier putting them in first, but I'm starting to change my mind. And I pretty famously don't do advertisements for other companies, and so every time you see an ad for a tool, that is actually my tool company, squaretools.com. These are all tools that I build and make and sell, and some are just improvements on old designs, and some are sort of my own design. So that's why you keep seeing that Square Tool things pop up if you don't know what that is. And I do recommend checking out that website, squaretools.com, because like that fret rocker, it's a little bit different than most of the other ones, and a lot less than some of the big guitar retailers charge. So made by me right here in America. The other thing you'll notice is that when I make these prototypes, I use a lot of mismatched parts. Like right now I'm using gold fret wire and gold tuning keys on this one, but then I'm using a silver end pin jack and black hardware. So it's I just kind of mix and match and use up some random stuff while I'm building it. I still try to put this sort of inlay like rosette around the sound hole, although I don't think it's necessary because it's plywood, but I just do it for look. And then I also have this on the back. I'm going to have cavity covers that are magnetically held in, which require me to glue a couple layers of some of this closet door skin together so I can fit the magnets in there and hold everything secure. And so now that I've started to cut all my parts and I'm feeling pretty confident, I decided to go ahead and start gluing it together. So I used some 5-minute epoxy in these slots that I cut. I thought it might help it make it look a little bit better. And we'll see. It's like I said, I need to make a better jig for cutting those slots, but it was okay. And then using my sort of thin molds and some stacks of scrap wood, I can go in and start setting up all of my my kerfing and everything and putting this guitar together. I also make my own kerfing now out of scraps of project wood. Somewhere in that video series I show kind of how I do it. I have a little cheap table saw I set up just for that purpose, and if you're going to use a lot of it, it is worth doing because the amount of money I spent on the table saw and blade, I've definitely made that much kerfing since then. Because this guitar is so thin, I didn't notice until this point that I did not have the room to sort of twist out my inside parts. So I had to cut a little bit of extra material away from those so I could get them out of the guitar. But it's okay, they're usable again, and now they'll work. And I did get carried away with this one. It's a little bit too thin. In the future, the instrument will be thicker, and stuff like that won't be as much of a problem. While I was making templates, I made these plastic guides for helping me lay out some of my interior parts. So you can see I have a metal plate that I'm going to glue inside the bridge that holds the strings and acts as a ground to sort of shore all that up and also help me with the electronics. And then that other piece was helping me draw on where my bracing is going to go. And it's a guide. It's not necessarily exactly where it's going to go. But on this instrument, I wanted to really brace it well with pretty heavy bracing, and I might have gotten a little carried away on that too. I think I can loosen up on this stuff. It's such a small guitar, it doesn't need all this bracing. It doesn't need to be quite as thick and strong, and so these are some of the ways I'm going to get even more resonance out of future versions. But that metal plate I think is kind of crucial. I think it works really well. And to explain my clamping system here, this is what's commonly called a Go deck. And these are very, very expensive tools that you can buy where you use, sort of rods that are under tension between two short distances. But this is something I just rigged up myself using some MDF, some scrap 2x4s, and these are just driveway markers like that people in the Northeast put along the edge of their driveway in the winter so they know where to plow. But they're fiberglass and flexible, and they work perfect for Go deck clamps. See what I mean about how I got a little carried away with the bracing? I mean, that X is huge. In the past, I would make my tops a little bit oversized so they didn't have to be perfectly aligned with the edge, and I could clamp them together outside of the mold using, violin clamps or acoustic guitar clamps, whatever you want to call them. This time I thought I would try to cut the top to the exact size it's supposed to be, and I used the Go deck again to clamp it down to see if I could really make sure I got some consistency in the shape and stuff. And this worked okay. It was a little bit trickier to set up the clamps. I think in the future I'll maybe split the difference, put just a tiny bit extra wood around the edge so I have a little bit of room for leeway, and then just trim all that up later. I thought I should add my signature green color to the interior of the instrument, then I glued on the back the same way as the front. I love it when everything comes together exactly as you envisioned it without a hiccup, and so that was a pretty good feeling here as I inspected this box and everything worked perfectly. And the little bits of hardwood sticking out in the front and back was, like I said, it's sort of a design feature out of a design change that I do like, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with that some more and some different ways to improve that look. All right, back to the Square Tools commercials. While typically I prefer wood glue for always gluing wood, I used epoxy again on the bridge because there's still maybe a little bit of finish on that plywood there, and the way the plywood sort of comes apart, this just seemed like it might be a better fit. But so also part of my design to keep the bridges from pulling up is I have these metal fasteners that go through the top. So between that and the strings coming through the body instead of pulling on the top and stuff, it's a slight change. So I think it all works pretty good. And then I also wanted to put in some traditional piezo electronics along with my custom hand-wound magnetic pickup, which I made a little jig to cut that hole out, and I should have done it just so you can see how that electronics is poking up a little bit. There's a slight curve there, a little too much. I should have moved it down a little bit lower, which this is all some of the stuff I learned in prototyping. If I even continue to use that style of electronics, I was looking into some other stuff too. So plywood construction, check. Bolt-on neck with angle adjustment, check. 2 electronic systems, piezo and magnetic, that can be used together or independently, check. It's starting to look like the guitar I want to build. Now we get to hear it. Over on my other YouTube channel where I do my audio demos, like for listings and stuff, I put up a video where I demo these 2 guitars, sort of the original Z, the new version, and this guitar from my collection. This is just my old Ibanez. It's like a 20-something-year-old, pretty generic size and shape acoustic guitar, just to kind of see what they sound like next to each other in the room. So here's a link. Go check it out. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm retiring the Z name, and so I need to name this. Put your suggestions below. I might use one. So yeah, for a first prototype, I'm pretty pleased with this. I like the look of it. I like the size of it. I do think it needs to be a little bit thicker. And there's a lot of things I'm going to change when I make the next one. But I haven't fully decided all those things, because what I want to do is I want to hang out with this for a little while and play it a little bit. But that doesn't mean you have to wait months for there to be more updates on this design, because I've already started constructing the bass guitar version, because I think that I love, as longtime viewers on my channel know, I love acoustic bass guitars. They're very important to me. And I think there's like room for improvement even over the last version I made. So I'm working on that right now, and that'll be coming along with all sorts of other stuff that I'm working on too. So see you around the interweb. Be good.